question you didn't get?
Most of it, but we're going to do it over.
No problem.
Here we are at Molino High School. Joe Fosdick, interviewer, and Bob Geissinger, head boys volleyball coach at Molino. And I am your cameraman, Jonasaurus Rex, and we are here doing our coaches interview for Marty's competitive motivational psychology class at the JC. Joe, take it away.
Bob, can you tell us about a time you've given a second chance to an athlete?
Yeah, absolutely.
Feel about second chances.
Yeah, absolutely. We kind of rate our athletes on a kind of a warrior scale. You gotta. There's a lot of spirit in athletes, and that you don't want to push that away. So some of the guys just haven't figured it all out yet, how to work with a team. And my job as a coach is to make sure that players that know how to work on a team, it's something that's taught. And once they get that and know that you're the first on the court and the last off for your team, it becomes a very important thing. That bonding is the key to it all. But if you got a player who's off on the side and doesn't quite figure it out, isn't a team player, you got to give them a second chance, but you got to teach them. And it's a life experience. Volleyball's got one of those really top-notch things that they teach is volleyball says you can make mistakes as long as you come back and put a string of really good things back together, working through teamwork. So if you're able to put it all together, your team's going to do real well. If not, you're going to fail because you're going to be separated as a team. Hopefully that makes sense.
Great answer. Great answer. And Bob, you said first one in and first one out for your team. What are some other ways you lead by example?
It's being on time. You gotta teach them exactly what they need. Being on time. You gotta create an atmosphere that is, in my opinion, is fun. I'm not the militaristic style of coach. Again, don't condemn the athletic spirit. You gotta allow them to feel good and own what I consider their own sports athleticism on the court. They need to step up in ways that I can't tell them. It's that spirit that I want those athletes to join together and push forward. And as a coach, I'm on the sideline. I can only show them how to get there. They have to take that next step as a team to get it done. I don't know if that answered exactly the question, but it's, yeah.
Hey Bob, how do you feel about being almost like a maverick pioneer out here in Sonoma County? I mean, boys volleyball is prevalent all over Marin, San Francisco, and Sacramento area, and yet you're the only guy out here in Sonoma County who's trying to make boys volleyball relevant. And where do you feel that puts you in the boys high school volleyball landscape, having to be a guy who coaches a team out in Sonoma County, but you're playing a bunch of Marin teams, and how that's been like trying to establish boys ball out here in Sonoma County?
Yeah, absolutely. The key to being on our own is finding a really good group of guys. In my opinion, a really good school. Sometimes at larger schools, you find it in Marin. Redwood has a tough time putting guys teams together. I think the larger the school, sometimes the harder it is to find guys that don't look at volleyball as a girls' sport. I was able to walk in, look at a good group of guys. I've played before. I was on the only guys team here in Sonoma County in '89, and we put it together, but it fell apart. We were all seniors. So when I walked in, I wanted to make sure these athletes understood that it's like going to the moon for the first time. When the government straps a rocket to your bottom and sends you to the moon. The concept is it's not cool at the time you do it, but when you get there, you're looked at as gods. You're the secret. Look at Buzz Aldrin and those guys right now. You're looked at as gods. So I gave them that opportunity. We pulled in all these athletes, a lot of them sophomores, freshmen, and a few seniors. Sprinkle it through. Grab the most popular guys at the school to kind of give that popular athletes to give that really good sense of working together. We had no condescension throughout the team. No one sat there. If someone fell, no one was like, ha. It doesn't work like that. My God, they all knew very little about the sport. So building the sport was actually easier than at a really big school. All these guys at this school, it's a small school, they all know each other. And they actually had some of the best parents and athletes that you can find. And it's one of these things that they work together. They're not afraid to work together. And we went into every competition kind of joking and laughing around. I gave them examples of what college looks like. I gave them examples of what pro looks like. They got to see what real volleyball looks like. And then we started to play. So I gave them examples, watched, hey, this is how we celebrate. We don't celebrate laughing at another team's mistake. We celebrated our success every time in the middle of the court. So, you know, those kind of things, when you put all those things together, I was lucky enough that within the second year of forming the El Molino volleyball team, we took North Coast section in 2009. So that ability to, you know, put your beliefs into a mix of athletes and bring together what you think is right, you know, that's my payoff. You know, we get paid very little, but that payoff to pull it together, I figured on 4 years, and they did it in 2. So you can't ask for that. And at the time, I wish that we had a state, because I would have put our Northern California team against pretty much anyone in 2009 and 2010. I mean, we were right there. We lost by 2 points in Game 5 for a back-to-back championship. So it's tough, and keeping the team together is the hard part when your school's losing athletes, you know, to other schools around you. You know, they come up through the junior highs, and in my opinion, there's some really bad recruiting violations going on. And I don't know if I want to put a stop to it or embrace it, but it's, you know, it's one of those things that I'd like to follow the rules, and I'd like everyone to follow the rules, and we come to a conclusion where we all get to work together. But losing athletes either will bring us together or slowly make us disappear. So it's up to the world, not us. We just got to do what we can on the court.
Do you have any pregame superstitions or anything like that?
Yes, yeah. No, it's the exact opposite of what you thought. Yeah, we try to, you know, I don't believe in, I was an athlete runner and went as far as I could in track and field and cross country. And in volleyball, I chose a different world. I said, you know what, your athleticism is exactly what's going to get you through this. Forget luck. Mm-hmm. Luck's always going to be there, either on your side or not. Forget it. This is a sport that you earn your way. So if you can take the smallest little piece of luck and work it into a rhythm, I think you can start capitalizing on every opportunity you have. The problem is it can also work against you. So your team can believe you're in a bad situation. It's the ability to step in and say, hey, we're going to change the way we think as of right now. A timeout can do it. We're going to change the way we think right now. We're going to put a new movie in the projector, and in this movie we win. It's not about, hey, we stop right there. You know, these 4 points that we lost has nothing to do with this new movie we're putting in the projector. And the new movie we're putting in the projector, we win in the end of this one. So that last one looked a little bad. I'm not going to go into that movie. I'm not paying the price of admission to go into that one. We're going over to this one where we actually win. So I think when the team gets that attitude and understands that, we kind of get it together.
Keep it routine.
Yeah, it's all about routine and capitalizing on the psyche of the game is really important. And one of the key things I do, a lot of visualization of us winning. That's a key. Showing them how, always talking about, hey, look at when you take that swing, that's what's going to get it done. And really burning that image into their heads that the best swings, the best of what we know how to do is really gonna work for us. One of my key phrases, if you go to superstition, I'll go to the other side of the coin where it's more about some phrases that I live by, and I try to get my athletes to live by. If it's not easy, we're probably doing it wrong. So we should be able to capitalize on any team with what talent we have and what we learn. Now, whether or not we put our willpower to it, it's that first idea that, hey, if my system doesn't work, then we're probably doing it wrong. And I'm the first one to admit it. Let's change it up. Let's learn from everyone around us and never stop learning. Because if you're not able to adapt to any situation, then you're going to fall apart.
Speaking of learning, what coaches do you like to implement into yours?
As far as in the past, my past coaches or
past,
future, present. Well, there's some amazing players around still to this day that you can go talk to, as well as Right now,
Stanford.
yeah, Stanford,
Kids in there.
absolutely. I have a few media things around that will show Stanford's top-notch, both women's and men's team. Stanford women's team has probably one of the best coaches. He was just inducted into the Hall of Fame, and a lot of his former players from University of Pacific, out at UOP, he did the same thing. And he's just unbelievable when you look at him. Well, I've talked to some of his former players, one of them being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and she gave me some of the coolest ideas to bring on guys volleyball in a new way and implement those ideas. And we're using them right now, and along with those old school ideas, we incorporate the new school ideas, such as looking at the best in the nation. Why would you not look at the best in the nation and try to build on those ideas? Modifying, of course, for the type of athlete you have, but those ideas, BYU, best blocking team in the nation, you have to look at the way they do things and how rhythmic they are and the way they do it. And they make it look easy, and we're right back to that easy thing. They make it look easy because they're working really hard in practice, and it shows up on the court. And they play with the top every year, and they're always one of the top teams. Not always making the Final Four, but they're one of, as far as what I'm concerned, defensively one of the top teams in the nation. So.
Hey Bob, what are your thoughts on team discipline? Like if you have an athlete that shows up late or an athlete that didn't perform well in a game, and without like discouraging them, and you want to keep their head in the game, but at the same time, you have to send a message and set an example that you're not going to tolerate, like say somebody being late to practice or not taking practice seriously. How do you handle that sort of situation?
I'm looked at by all the other coaches as being pretty easy and relaxed on things, but as far as team enforcement of our rules, we have some rules. Basic ones have to do with it's a team effort. It's truly a team effort where if a member's going to be late, it's never a surprise. We're never surprised by anything. It's pro-actionary rather than reactionary. I want our athletes to sit there and tell another player, as simple as that, tell another player that hey, you're coming to, I'm going to be late. I've got this other project. I have to do this. Tell Bob I'm going to be late, and I can adjust my practice accordingly. Again, adapting. Sometimes you have to adapt to the situation. Players can't always be there. So we'll adapt and change the practice, but I don't have to do it last minute. I do it the moment I know about it and can make a quick adjustment, and we move on from there. As far as on-court situations, you'll tend to never really see me make my I try not to react to I don't react to our negatives. So a player doing something that I don't want, you may see a conversation quickly, but I'll never react to a situation that I'm upset about unless it has to do with a personal thing. None of my players are going to react to another player on the other team personally. If it's team issues, then we'll deal with those team issues. But respect is the number one thing. We respect other players. We respect the guys on the other side of the court. We're a team that through the discipline at practice, we gain our stuff in game and whatnot. In practice, I got to take them aside if there is some serious issues, which would be more personal. I got to take them aside and find out what the problem is. I'm not into blame. I'm into figuring out solving the problem. I'm basically a problem solver. So what's the problem? Let's iron it out. And if it works, it works. If not, we're gonna look for a big adjustment. And otherwise, if you can't deal with being part of the team, the door's right there. You can leave anytime. And I'll say it to the biggest player in the gym or the littlest player in the gym. It's always the same. So we solve our problems and we grow through that. We try not to walk away from them. Just deal with those problems and move on.
Well, Bob, thank you for the interview.
Right on.
It was a pleasure.
Hey, thank you.